Okay, we'll just go through the question and do a bit of some recap of what we looked at. My area of interest is just on the currency futures and the currency options. We looked at the currency futures, so we go to currency options, but let me just go through the question. It says Newton Company is a company based in the USA, supplying medical equipment to the USA and Europe. It is 30th November 2008. Newton Company's Treasury Department is currently dealing with a sale to a Swiss customer of 12.3 million Swiss currency, which has just been agreed, where the customer will pay for the equipment on the 1st May 2009. The Treasury Department intends to hedge the foreign exchange risk on this transaction using traded futures or options as far as possible. Any amount not hedged by futures or option contract will be hedged on the forward market. Exchange rates will have been given for the spot, 3 months forward, 6 months forward. And the currency futures, the contract size of 125,000 Swiss, futures price quoted as US dollars per Swiss. Future price from December to June have been given. The contract size is still the same or similar to what was given under the currency futures. We've been told the exercise price quotation, dollars per Swiss, and premium, which is US cents per Swiss. So we know that the premium we subtract, isn't it?
Yes.
And discount?
We add.
Absolutely. So we have been given the exercise price, which is 1.0375. We have been given the calls. What's the difference between calls and puts?
Yeah, you're buying or you're selling. Mm-hmm. So when you're
on the calls, selling, yeah. Mm-hmm. Continue. It's your show.
When you're
continue.
Selling, when you're selling, you use the put. And when you're buying, you use the call.
So ideally, you're actually saying you're actually putting your options on sale. That's what basically it means. And the other one, you're actually calling for what is this? Your sale and what? And they are also buying, isn't it? Okay, just that part. So first, let's understand these numbers. These numbers in here, what are they?
Where the ones under put and call?
Now, don't forget that these are premiums, but they are quoted in what? In cents.
Okay,
you get that? They are premiums. So yeah. So if the exercise price, say in December, this will be the premium 0.47. In March, on 10th of the course, that will be 0.5. Then for the puts, it will be 0.86 in June. So when you look at this scenario, okay, first, please.
So how? Because I remember the question that you gave previously when we had class, there was PM for premium, then the discount also. So here, how would you tell it's a premium?
They've already given you here inside. Mentioned. Yeah, it is actually mentioned.
Oh, it's mentioned. Oh, okay. I just noticed that.
Then we here, when you look at this scenario for Newton, are they buying or selling? Let me not confuse you. It's puts. Let's move on. Because you wanted to start thinking it's puts. Because they are expecting some money.
That is where that's a challenge. That's a challenge that I'm actually having.
Don't overthink. Yeah. So we have to start. Let me just open my board.
Coach, as you are opening, yes, we have settled it put, but here I'm in the exam. What would be the catch here for me to just settle for put? That is like a slight challenge I still have.
It's on the if for example this company, it was actually paying. If it was paying, then you'd ideally look at it as the cause. If they are actually they are expecting funds from somewhere, you look at it as
they are receiving.
Yes, that is how you should look at it. Even just the question itself, when you read it nicely, you will see basically that it's a question of selling here. Let me just read it again. It is 30th November 2018. Newton Campus Treasury Department is currently dealing with a sale to a CIS customer of 12.3 million, which has just been agreed, where the customer will pay for the equipment on the 1st May 2019. The Treasury Department intends to hedge the foreign exchange risk on this transaction using traded futures or options as far as possible. Any amount not hedged by futures or option contract will be hedged on the forward market. So when you just look at this scenario, ideally what it is actually telling you is that you are selling. It's a bit confusing, but you just have to understand it from that part.
Coach, no, you are the coach. You
That
it's selling.
No, you are buying. It's different. It's different. If, for example, you know, when you're actually selling, you're selling futures. But what does it mean? Because you're expecting funds from somewhere. So you are selling. That is basically puts. You are selling because you expect funds. If you are buying, if you are actually buying, which is cause, understand it in this way. It's not even confusing at any time. If you are actually buying, if it's actually cause, meaning that you have this money. If, for example, if we are saying Norton company is based in the USA, deals in whatever and is expecting to pay a company in Europe, meaning that they already have this money, 12.3. So if they have this money, 12.3, what do they actually do? Is to buy the futures. They will not sell, they will buy futures. You can only buy if you have money.
Yes.
You can only sell if you don't have the money. I hope you're getting what I'm saying.
Okay. Yes.
Here, they do not have the money, so they are buying the futures. They expect the money only, they expect funds on the 1st May 2019. So it's not confusing, but I wanted to flow with your rhythm. But if they are paying, say, in 3 months' time, meaning they have the money, so they have to hedge against that. So what do? They buy the futures. Here, they are selling the futures. They do not have the money. You cannot sell. You cannot. If you don't have the money, you are actually selling because you want the money. If you have the money, what are you doing? If you have the money, you are actually buying the futures. Does it make sense now?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so coach, just one last one. So, like, if I was to simplify it, like I'm a trader, I'm selling I'm selling shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll sell so that I have money later, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll sell so that I can receive money.
Mm-hmm.
The person who has the money will buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
So,
Mm-hmm.
so I should, okay.
So you
Maybe
now
now, yes,
understand. You now understand because you have this first.
I've had a challenge. I think the last time we met, I still couldn't. I wasn't settled. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now
It's clear, isn't it?
making sense.
Mm-hmm. So here you have the money, but your fear with this money that you have is that the currency, it might actually get eroded. That's a fear. You have this money, but you fear that because of the exchange movements, exchange rate movement, it might actually work to your disadvantage. So what do you do for you to hedge?
You have the money, so you buy futures so that you can hedge against.
But this money you have, this money you have is in dollars because you are from the USA.
Okay.
Your fear is that by the time that you are supposed to pay in 3 months, you may end up paying more dollars. So the fear here is you may end up paying more. This is your fear. Right. So you may end up paying more. So you will actually hedge this either by using futures
Or
options or forward markets.
Forward rate. Okay.
So I'll put the futures here. So you hedge. So here on the course, then now what you're actually saying is that you are buying the futures.
Okay.
That is what you're doing. The opposite this side, actually your fear is to lose money. But the fact currently is that you do not have the money.
Okay. Excuse me.
Oh, now I am.
Yeah, zooming a plate today.
So you do not have the money. You expect to receive when you expect to receive, say, in 3 months. Here, you expect to pay. Or I've put it already there. So you expect to receive in 3 months. But your fear as well here is that you have this fear. At the time that you'll be receiving this money, it would have lost value.
Okay.
So what do? You say, we are also going to hedge. So by hedging, because you do not have money, you cannot buy. because you do not have money. So what do? You are actually going to sell. That is what you will do. You will sell these futures or options. Do you get me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So does it now reduce on your anxiety of ignorance? Does
Yes,
it?
extremely. Yes,
Okay.
it does now. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So we now look at the options. So on these currency options, what are we going to actually do? We'll have to buy the options. And from the table, it shows that the options that we can actually buy are for June. You get that, huh? That is when we can actually buy. Remember that these can only be exercised on specific periods. There are only 4 periods in which you can actually exercise these options. Do you remember?
Yes.
So we'll have to purchase the options for June. Now, the number of contracts we have already been given. First, we were actually given 12, if you remember, 12,300 million. This is the money that we expect. So when we divide this by the contract size, of, is it 125,000?
Yes.
Using the same currency, it gives us 98 point something. So similar to what we had actually gotten. I don't know if it's 98.4, 98.9.
So 98.4. So we say we.
So meaning that we cannot buy point something of the contract. It means that we'll have to buy 98 contracts. So in buying 98 contracts, it will be worth how much? To be worth 12,250, isn't it?
Yes.
So the currency is your CHF. Are we there?
Yes.
So what does it mean? We'll still have that amount hedged by the forward markets, or hedged in the hedged by the forward contracts. You still remember how much was it? It was 50,000 in whatever, but we converted it. in dollars, so we can still use that. How much is it?
It was 50 times.
Yeah, it's giving you 57, how much?
51,790.
Okay, let's just do this for the sake of, so we'll say it was 50,000 CFH, CH whatever, times
1.0358.
0358, which is the 0.358, which is for the 6 months forward, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Which then gave 51 in dollars. 51, comma, what?
790. 90.
90. Okay. Here is nothing different from what we looked at last time, isn't it?
No.
Yeah. So we'll need to actually check in terms of the receipts that we expect from this currency option. I hope the whiteboard is helping in visualizing, is it?
Yes, I can see clearly.
I'm saying it, does it help? We're in technology now. Does it help?
Yes, it's better. You mean, is it better, the white than the other one? Yes.
Because here we are trying to create and just creating the flow charts and all that. So here now the currency options. How much are we going to receive? So we need to have a formula first. So whatever receipts that we're actually going to make, these are the examples that we've already looked at some point. We'll first need to have the contract size. So the contract size So the contract size times the contract itself. In this case, obviously, we know the contracts, but let's first create the formula times the contract times the exercise when we are going to exercise this, the exercise price. So the contract size times the contract times the exercise price. So what is the contract size? Is
125.
125.
Okay.
Times the contract
98.
98 times the excise price.
1.0375.
1.03
75.
775. Giving how much?
Giving 12 million. 12 million. 709.
12 million. 12.
No, I meant as in 12 as in 12. So there,
Okay.
12 million 709.
Okay. Let me delete first, Kylie. So 12 million. 12.
70. And 709.
709.
375.
375. Okay. So then we go to the premium. Oh. Yes, Teresa, how are you? I know. Yeah, how fun was it?
The exam was nice.
Oh, the exam was good.
Yeah.
You prepared?
Yes.
Are you writing tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're writing Chinyanja. I try to study. I guess they are books.
No, I don't.
Okay. Hello, sorry about that. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
So then we got to, we now look at the premium. We have to calculate the premium. Hi, how are you? Good. So we have to calculate the premium. The formula is basically the same. We'll still look at the contract size. We'll still look at the contract size. The contract size times the contract. Times the premium. So the contract size we know is 225,000. Times the contract of 98. Times the premium. Give me the number for the premium.
0.0086.
0.0086. So how much we get?
We get 105,350.
105. Comma.
350.
350. Is this in dollars or in Swiss?
I was about to ask.
I'm now asking you.
Because this is 0.0086 cents. So meaning we are converting to dollars.
Very
so
good.
It's dollars here.
So the answer is that it is in dollars. Okay. Done. We move on. Do we move on? We move on.
Yes, we do.
So now we need to actually check on the outcome. If you are using that, then we do a bit of some analysis. So we know that the options. So give me the number, that number that we had already calculated on the receipts. If you want, you can call it receipts.
12,000.
Okay, that is in dollars, isn't it?
Yes.
So it's 12,000.
709.
709.
375.
375. Then we have for the forward market, the forward contract.
51,790.
51,790. Are you able to read my handwriting?
Yes.
If I do, it's my handwriting.
It's getting better, I think.
Yeah.
By the day.
Yeah. Then less the premium, right? So let's say premium, how much?
105,350.
105,350.
Yes.
So how much do we get?
We get 12.
12.
655.
655.
815.
815.
5.
So if we were to compare this with for the futures, so here the issue is that if we were to exercise, this is what we would actually get. So for the futures, how much was it? Okay, give me even for the first option. Remember that we had two things there. You can give me even two outcomes. We came up with option 1 or method 1 and method 2.
For method 1, the features were 12,000.
12,000.
692.
692.
Then 225.
225. So when you look at the two, which one? Which, okay, then you had the another one, I'm sure, because we calculated into whatever. You can give me the other amount.
Okay, sorry. The one I've given you is minus the amount for forward.
What do you mean minus the amount for forward?
I'm comparing it with what we've just done for options. We've
Yes.
included the 51.
Yes, that is okay. Don't you? We looked at when we were coming up with this. Didn't we come up with different methods that gave us different solutions? Or it was just one?
Hello?
It was just.
We came up with two.
Okay, just that number is all right.
Okay.
Eric, I'll call you. I'm in class, huh? I'll call you the next 30 minutes. Yeah, thank you. Okay, thanks. Hello? Okay, just that. So if you look at this, which one would be more profitable? In terms of the receipts, definitely will be the futures, right? But we move on first. We still have to do some few analysis.
Hello, coach.
Hello?
Just a question on the same, the option. Here, looking at this exam question, there's a point where we decide whether to exercise the option or not.
Yeah, we are not yet there, isn't it?
Okay. I was sure in your course again, me. So I was just trying to see if
there is. Yeah, but what decisional points would help you to make a decision on whether to exercise or not to exercise?
Earlier, okay, from what I understood earlier, it was on the exercise. You compare the exercise price and the.
For me, that sidekick is soft.
Reduce the volume. Hello? Oh, sorry about that.
Okay, the feedback is too loud.
It's still loud, the feedback. I know it has been reduced.
Okay, it's now okay. So I was trying to say that's what I'm looking out for. This price you're exercising at the 1.0375. I think you compare with.
Just the price itself, it is not going to help you if you don't bring in the premium. The problem which is that it's the premium.
The premium, okay.
Yes, so you don't just look at those prices and make a decision. No, that would be wrong. Because there's a premium that you have to pay. You get that?
Yes.
Remember, what's the story of this premium? What's the story? Is that the moment you go into this particular contract, the same day you call your dealer, you have to pay this premium. You have to pay it.
Yes.
These are the receipts. So you're saying whatever receipts that you have made, remove what you paid. So we move on. So here we are actually comparing, basically, we are comparing for the options currency, what would get from there against the futures. The futures currently look more profitable. But then we move on now to do whether we are exercising or not. But that decision comes from all these other things that we are actually looking at. So here we are saying, if not exercised, which we have seen that could be the best thing, you could even let the option lapse, or you don't just exercise it.
The Ministry of Home Affairs, through the Department of National Registration, Passports and Citizenship, which is to inform the general public that periodic mobile registration exercises shall commence on the 1st of August 2020 in 5 provinces, namely Northwestern, Luapula, Eastern, Northern, and Copperbelt provinces, respectively, as first phase for 40 days. The exercise has been scheduled in 2 phases, with the second phase starting on the 1st of September 2020 for equally 40 days.
So if not exercised, what are we actually saying? We'll have more receipts,
civil societies, religious leaders, and all patriotic loving Zambians to ensure that only eligible and genuine Zambian nationals acquire and replace their national registration cards. Any person that shall try to obtain or represent an undeserving individual for the purpose of acquiring a green national registration card shall be committing a serious crime and shall be liable to prosecution before the court of law.
So here on, obviously we have actually seen that exercising this option may not be more profitable than going for the futures. Maybe we can just let it to lapse or something like that.
Okay.
So if not exercised, we know that we'll have a higher receipts. We have a higher receipt. And we expect also the spot rate, because the spot rate definitely, which we are going to use, would actually move significantly to our favor. I would say it would move to our favor. So it would actually favor this same company. What is it? Newton, whatever.
Highly professional and dedicated staff. We are not just any insurance company, but an insurance company that actually pays our claims. We cover, among others, fire, marine, aviation, engineering, agriculture, motor vehicle.
So,
Coach, how would that be? Just on that same point, where you're saying your spot rate would move to our favor. How?
So now let's do the computation. So here first you have to actually look at, for the futures, we had how much? We had 12 watt for the futures. So let's come up with a formula. So you look at that first alternative that we had. How much would you actually make from the futures? So you have
which figure do you want? For the futures, do you want
let me come up with the formula.
Let
me come up with the formula.
Okay, all right.
So you have for the futures, how much you have actually invested in the futures? How much you have invested in the futures? So the futures, how much you have invested in the futures times the spot rate, which obviously you will need to calculate. Let's say premium.
One Zambia, One Nation. Good evening. Welcome to the news at 19 hours on Saturday, TV 1, 2, and 3. top stories in the news this hour. Government says the country will participate in vaccine trials for COVID-19.
So on the futures, how much did we get on the futures?
12,000.
Mm-hmm.
692.
So now you have first, wait, you have 12,000, 692,
92. Then 225.
225. So equals to, sorry, I'm writing on a different page. So we are actually saying it's 12, 12,6, 92, comma,
225.
225. So I'm saying with these futures there, how much did we invest in the futures? The Swiss thing was 12,000. 250. $12,250 times the spot rate, which we don't know, which is X, minus the premium of 105 Zinga.
105, 350.
350. So we have the 12, 692.
Speaking during the routine updates in the summer today,
225
162 new cases
plus
have been detected in the last 24 hours.
105
1,017 tests conducted. And the Ministry of Health
350
Infectious Diseases, Lloyd Mulenga, say vaccine research going on in other parts of the world is an opportunity for vaccine researchers to participate in vaccine development.
12.
Zambia is rich with
250
researchers, and today we welcome the researchers to invest in doing research for COVID-19 and contribute.
So what would be the X? What would be X?
Government to provide the conducive environment for such research. This is the best way. We're going to have answers to the unanswered questions. Zambia has recorded 162 new cases of COVID-19 out of 1,017 tests done. And this brings the cumulative number of cases to 8,663. We did not record confirmed deaths to COVID-19, however, where the suspected death of 66 male who presented with hypertension or disease and succumbed before we finished working out this patient and results have been released to the course. Those 7, the ones which you were talking about.
What would be the X?
1.0447.
1.0447. So you see that the spot rate, now we're going back to, just to qualify this statement, what we say the spot rate is more and it favors Newton. If you're actually using, if you're not going to exercise, you're using the futures. So they have an option here. They can let the option to lapse, just leave it, not exercise it. They would still obtain the same receipt as under the futures. So the problem here, the problem which has actually caused the option to be slightly unattractive is this. This is what is making the option unattractive. because you have to pay the premium, isn't it?
Yes.
That 105. So it makes it more unattractive. So what does it mean with this type of hedging here? The hedging, of course, was actually imperfect.
Now, President Biden is expected to launch one of the
In all cases, when you're
No,
comparing
it's not.
options and futures,
No, it just shows
there'll
that
always be an element.
it's not in all cases. Here it just shows that the current scenario, the way it was designed was a bit imperfect. This is for this one. It doesn't mean that all the time when you compare, you find that futures may not be as attractive as the options, currency options. So I guess tomorrow we'll look at another question from another paper so that we cement on these principles. Right.
Okay.
Okay, now go and rest, isn't it?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Just go through these principles, read more, understand the cause and option and puts, because that is why you've been having confusions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to make sure that that confusion is actually moved. So thank you so much and wish you all the best.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.